What up, kinfolk? This is your boy Screwface Capone in the house, aka the Do-Rag Gamer. And right now, I just want to speak a little bit on this corona situation, just my thoughts and what's going on, and some stuff that's starting to piss me off. So, for those who don't know, the coronavirus, I think it's COV-119 or something, I forget the exact name of it. It's been spreading throughout the world, and um, as you can see, it's on lockdown now. Schools are being closed down, non-essential businesses are being shut down. I myself, I work in IT. I work in IT for a bank, so I've been having to work from home these past few weeks, and restaurants have been shutting down. Like any entertainment venues have been shutting down and stuff. So they've been encouraging this social distancing thing because they don't know who's had it, and they're not clear like what the signs are, and well, we know what the symptoms are, but like it's hard to detect like who's got it or where it could come from. So the idea is for everyone to stay as far away from each other as possible and to avoid large gatherings. But there are some idiots who don't fucking care about it, like those kids down in fucking Florida trying to enjoying spring break. It's cats on the internet thinking, it's just a little media scare tactic. That's just scaring people. But it's like this is starting to affect the economy. It's starting to affect businesses. So the biggest issue is that people are not taking it seriously enough. I mean, I understand that people don't want to be scared. I understand, people not wanting to be scared by the media, but this is starting to become something serious. People are dying from it, and like especially people with compromised immune systems. So that's why a lot of people are stocking up on hand sanitizer. They encourage you to wash your hands. Don't leave unless it's absolutely necessary, and avoid large crowds of people. And right now, it's a bunch of conspiracy theory crap, like usual like Hotep crowd, the skeptic crowd saying like it's not applied by the New World Order or some shit. And then on the other hand, you got like Christians saying that, this is a way to, this is part of God's plan to bring families back together. I'm like, motherfucker, or is people losing their jobs? Are businesses being shut down? Are empty store shelves and shit? Are people dying? Is that supposed to be part of God's plan too? See, I'm an agnostic, but it's people applying some really dumb fucking logic to this corona situation. Also, you got people out here talking about, they not gonna let this scare them. They just gonna enjoy their life. I mean, this is part of the same fucked up anti-vaxxer mentality. I mean, if you're avoiding the whole social distancing thing, then you're not being a rebel. You're not striking out against the system. You're not showing everybody how brave you're being. You're just a dumbass who is contributing to something that's already bad becoming slowly worse than it already is. It's like back in the days when you were in kindergarten and shit, right? And there's that one, and like we're all about to have like a field day or some kind of treats or some shit, and then you got that one kid in the back, those one or two kids in the back who keep talking when the teacher tells the class to shut up or whatever, and they just keep talking, and the teacher decides like just cancel the big special event because they can't stop talking. That's kind of like how this is. You got everybody from doctors to politicians telling you to stay home, take care of yourselves, and maintain distance, and yet you got these ignorant motherfuckers out here, that's these edgelords or whatever, trying to pretending that there's some that on some like YOLO bullshit or whatever it is, talking about like they don't care or it's some kind of conspiracy. So I'm just ignored. And I just saw this on like Facebook a few minutes ago. Like the longer my cousin actually posted this meme saying the longer it takes to implement social distancing, the longer we'll have to do it for. So if we start taking action now, the idea is that we start taking out action now, trying to flatten out the curve. We can fight this thing and stop the spread of it, and hopefully we can get things back on track as soon as possible. I mean, you see movies being delayed. They might delay the Olympics, and they might even delay the. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to delay the election. Kids need to go back to school. People need to go back to work, and they're already floating around this idea of a stimulus. So we need people to start using common sense to do what you got to do to do your part in helping to make things better before they decide to come force it upon us. And you really won't want to do that because you'll be crying about losing your freedoms and all that other shit about the new world order and the one world government or whatever fucked up shit. And now speaking of stimulus checks, so I think it's kind of funny, like the same people who talk about like socialism, like the same politicians who are talking about like socialism, now they're floating around this idea of universal basic, of like a short-term stimulus, short-term stimulus check, universal health care, all the stuff that like some of the more progressives were trying to campaign for, like Andrew Yang, he was trying to campaign for a universal basic income, and Bernie Sanders was trying to float that Medicare for all. But people would call it socialism because it helps out other people. However, like what I noticed is that drinking my water because I want to stay hydrated. What I noticed is that now that it's you, I mean, not you specifically, but like you as in the people who cry about socialism, now that you and your family members are the ones who are being affected by it, you're talking about, you want to, now that you and your family members, you're all in support of it. And it's not socialism anymore. It's just things that we need to get back on track. So what you're actually saying is that you do support, is that as long as you can benefit from it, you do support it. And also, as far as also you see people on social media talk about, oh, since you're saying not my President Trump, then get back your then you shouldn't cash your check. Well, here's the thing: it's not he's not the one giving the checks. It's going to be issued from the U.S. Treasury, and that money is going to be coming from taxes that people have already been paying in. And these are bills that are being sponsored by both Democrats and Republicans. So on the flip side, for those of you talking about socialism, then maybe you shouldn't cash a check either because you don't want to be seen as relying on government handouts. But again, as we've seen from like all the bailouts that have been going on for like the farmers bailout and whatnot, and the current version of the bill, they tried to like sneak in some kind of some more corporate incentives. It's not socialism when we're giving the money to like corporations and other rich entities that don't need the money in the first place. All right, so enough about that. But another thing is the whole China bit. I'm kind of mixed on like the whole calling it a China virus, but at the same time, I can see how much of a danger that's putting in Asian people in. Like when people talk about China lied, people died. The blame has to be pointed at the government, at the Chinese government, not the Chinese people, because they've tried to hush up the plague from the illness for months. They silenced the one whistle. They ignored the one whistleblower and they lied to make it seem like it wasn't as bad as it's getting. Also, a huge amount of but the same, even now, like I'm not sure they're being totally truthful about all the people they saying that recovering, or that the fact that there are no new cases. I don't quite believe that yet. But like on the flip side, though, people are using this as an excuse to attack Asian people. And one thing I'm really disturbed by is seeing my fellow black people attacking Asian people over this. It's like I'm seeing on social media, like their store owners treat us like this, or what have Asians ever done for us? And no, 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 that's not the way. First of all, to everybody, especially my fellow African Americans, other marginalized people, gay people, Asians, Muslims, immigrants, documented or non-documented, they're not your enemy. I know, I know, like they haven't gone through the same like historical experiences like slavery and Jim Crow that we've gone through, but they do struggle in this country, and they do struggle alongside us, and this is a part of history where we all need to be united more than ever. So again, other marginalized people are not your enemy. Um, Also, it's and on that note, it's like when it comes to prejudice against other people, I can see like the whole idea of us wanting our own group to shit on. I mean, because like we've had to deal with racism from racist whites, like I know slavery, Jim Crow, to segregation, and then we see it in like there are those among us who see appeal in shitting on another group of people. I mean, be it gays or in this case Asians. But it's like, what? But why do we need to be like that? I mean, why can't we elevate? Why can't we rise above that and set a better example for everybody? I mean, why race to be at why are we racing to be the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the barrel when we can elevate and rise to the top and show compassion to other people on a higher level? And I want you to think about that for a moment, and also on a flip side too, and to the I guess this will be addressing like the alt right or the edge lords who I kind of and back to the whole Asian thing or the China virus. I kind of find it funny that like whenever marginalized people like black people or gay people, when black people speak on things like police brutality or segregation or harassment or whatnot, or when gay people speak on issues that affect them, they get decried as like being divisive or speaking on identity politics. But yet the same people who decry that will defend like calling this shit like not even just the China virus thing, but like the whole kung flu bit. Like people joking around saying like kung flu, or even joking around, or even like trying to justify mistreating Asians or really anybody else. So like if marginalized people speaking on their experiences are identity politics and adding divisiveness, wouldn't the stuff that you're doing, isn't that like just as divisive and not more? I mean, if you think about it, all we're really doing is spreading light to things that happen in our community to us. But you're actively trying to defend you're actively trying to defend like something that can be seen as a form of racism to other people as well, because you can see like in the news, people are using that kind of rhetoric as a means to justify like physical assaults against Asian people. And the real ignorant part is that they don't even tell like if the person like Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or if they've even been to China. And that's the crazy part of it. It's kind of like when 9/11 happened. You had Indian people within the Sikh community. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. The SIKH community, who were attacked by people who thought they were Muslims. So again, like when you talk about divisive speech and identity politics, is that do you mean that like all across the board, or are you only saying that to marginalized people who try to talk about their own experiences? Now again, though, back to the Chinese government, I noticed that a lot of people who in this case were actually defending the Chinese government or like defending China were the same one like several months back, like who were decrying like entities like the NBA, Disney, and even Blizzard. I don't know if you remember the whole Blitzchung thing, when they were taking the Chinese government side against Hong Kong during the Hong Kong protests. So you got to be consistent throughout the gate. So yeah, I'm just rambling. I just figured I'd share my thoughts this Sunday evening. Again, please use comments. Please use common sense out of it. Please use common sense out here. I mean, don't go out when if you don't have to. Avoid large crowds of people if you can avoid it, and hopefully we can get things back on track sooner rather than later. I mean, when it comes to, I mean, a lot of these hoteps, a lot of these religious hustlers, a lot of these people are on Facebook right now, or in other forms of social media, talking about using essential oils and shit, or talking about like how this is God's plan, or how they not gonna do it because this is just another scare tactic by the media. No, that is not the way. It's like, why would I, when it comes to matters that can potentially affect my health or the health of my loved ones, why would I listen? I mean, I prefer to listen to the opinion of people within the medical field who have had years of experience, training, and education and research over your favorite celebrity, over some internet hotep, or some YouTube conspiracy theories. So, again, everybody take care of yourselves. Everybody use common sense, and make sure you look after yourselves, and make sure you look after each other. Stay hydrated. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you watch out for your loved ones, especially your kids and your elderly. And hopefully hopefully this will be over soon. So again, this is, I know I ramble a lot. I know I speak fast, but these are just stuff that I had to get on my chest. So again, this is Screwface Capone, William Talley in the house. You have a great Sunday night, and remember, trans women are real women, Black Lives Matter, and Paladins is better than Fortnite. Peace out.